All right, so as we're moving into our drama unit, the first drama that we're gonna read is called The Emperor's New Clothes. And so we're gonna actually read the first two scenes together. And because this is a fictional story, we are gonna be using the same annotation symbols that we would use for any narrative that we will see. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw them out here. We're gonna use our star, we're gonna use our house, we're going to use our rectangle, our squiggly line, and our triangle, okay? So those are all the symbols that we're going to use in each paragraph. And again, we're still being intentional about putting them there, okay? Paragraph 1 says, narrator, a long time ago there lived an emperor who was so excessively fond of new garments that he spent a fortune on them. He did not care about his soldiers or anything else. The only care in the world he had was showing off his new clothes. Ludicrous and ridiculous was the vain emperor. He had a costume for every hour in the day. When nobles and knights sought out the emperor, his maids would say, "The emperor is in the changing room," instead of saying, "The emperor, is speaking with his council." Okay, so as I'm looking through there, I want to know like who is the main character or the main person that this one is about. And it is about the emperor, so I'm going to put a star on the emperor. What is the emperor doing? He is only caring about showing off his new clothes. And so I'm going to put a triangle there. Do I see a conflict? Well, the only care in the world he had was showing off his new clothes. Actually, could account for a conflict as well. I don't quite see a resolution, and I don't really see any setting details. It's not telling me where this is happening or when. And so I'm going to go on ahead and make a hashtag based on what I have here. And so my hashtag is going to say Emperor only cared about showing off his clothes. And so I'm basically looking at like what's the most important idea that I need to get from here. And since this is a place where I have not only a triangle for character actions, but also a squiggly for conflict, I know that that's a super important detail, okay? Moving right along. Paragraph 2 says, Emperor, looking in a mirror admiringly. This crimson robe is handsome, but I would like another. Enter two swindlers. Swindler number 1 in a flattering tone. Emperor, may I suggest that your robe is exquisite? Swindler number 2. I do agree with my fellow weaver. However, we can construct a garment so great that none other can compare. You see, the unique clothes we make are of the finest quality that actually makes one invisible. Emperor, those must be splendid clothes. Yes, I would like some of your fabric to be woven for me. In paragraph 7, he hands the swindlers a bag of gold. And so I'm actually going to put all of these paragraphs together because they all are the same idea. So in the first paragraph, the emperor says that they want another robe, and then two swindlers come in and agree to make the emperor a new robe. And so that's what I'm going to put here as my hashtag. Hashtag emperor wants a new robe, and two swindlers come in and offer to make a new robe for him. Okay. So you'll notice that I didn't put any symbols there, and the reason why is because I didn't see an introduction of like a new, like, most important character. The emperor is still the most important or the main character here. There are no setting details that are given here. It doesn't tell us when or where this is happening. There's no resolution to the emperor only caring about the clothes. And there is no additional issue here. There's not another problem. The character actions are actually here in triangles. He looks in the mirror admiringly and hands the swindlers a bag of gold. So if I wanted to go back and think about, like, what was the most important action out of this whole thing, it would be that he, like, gives him the gold to make a new robe for him. Okay, moving right along to scene 2. Scene 2, the narrator says, the emperor became curious and wanted to see the weaver's progress on his invisible garments, so he set his minister to find what was done. The minister enters the swindler's house. Okay, so now I have some setting details. It tells me where this is taking place. Minister, why can't I see a thing? Swindler, number 1, speaking in a conniving tone, come a little closer and you will see the exquisite pattern and beautiful coloring. You must tell the emperor that you saw this remarkable garment, or he may not see you fit to serve. For a minister cannot serve if he is half blind. The minister says, am I too blind? I must be unfit to serve the emperor. He mustn't know that I cannot see his garment, for I do not want to be removed from my post. Narrator. So the minister returned to the emperor and told him of the magical garment. Okay? So here, the most important thing in this particular section is that the emperor sent his minister to find out what was done to the robe. Okay, so I'm going to put a hashtag here next to my triangle. I'm going to say imp sent minister to check on progress of robe. So he wants to know how the robe is progressing. Like, how are they doing with creating the robe? 10. The minister can't see the robe in this particular passage, or this particular paragraph. The minister can't see the robe. And the swindler tells him that if the minister can't see it, then he's not going to be seen as fit to serve. So I'm going to put a hashtag here. Minister can't see, let me put a line there, the robe. And then I'm going to put a hashtag here. Swindler convinces minister that if he can not see the robe, he is not fit to serve the emperor. And here it's important to note where it says, am I too blind? I must be unfit to serve the emperor. He mustn't know that I cannot see his garment, for I do not want to be removed from my post. So the minister returned to the emperor and told him of the magical garment. So in these two lines here, minister lies because he doesn't want to get fired. He doesn't actually see the robe, but he doesn't want the emperor to get upset with him and fire him. And so this is a conflict. Like a small minor conflict, and his solution is this. So the solution that the minister has to his little issue is this here. And so both of the hashtags that we did here and here already reflect the conflict and the resolution. All right, at this point in time, you're going to make some inferences about these two scenes. So the next two questions that you're going to do are making inferences questions, and they're on the next page. Question number 1 says, which choice best describes how the narrator's remarks at the start of scene 1 contribute to the development of the passage? So we're rewriting this. How does narrator's opening remarks develop story? So this is our question. So we want to go back to the front so we can predict our answer. The narrator's opening remarks tell us that the the emperor only cared about showing off his new clothes. So I know that because I have the hashtag here after the first paragraph. This would be the narrator's opening remarks. Okay, so it shows that the emperor only likes clothes. So the answer choices say F, they outline the negative personality traits of the emperor. I'm going to put a question mark there because someone who's like only consumed with material things normally is not looked at as a positive personality trait. And so we're going to say that one is a negative one. Number 2, or G, letter G, they outline some of the people who often came to see the emperor. Well, no, it just talks about 2 swindlers who just happened to come. And even in that paragraph where the narrator is speaking, it doesn't even say much about people who are coming to visit. H, they outline some of the reasons why the emperor was so powerful. Doesn't quite speak about power. And then I have J, they outline the reasons why the emperor is so fond of new clothing. And so I don't know that is exactly what's happening. But I'm going to put a question mark next to it, and you're going to go back and you're going to look at that paragraph and figure out which one of these two is the correct answer. Once you find it, circle it, and prove it using information from the text, and then you're going to move on to question number 2. Coming in, taking your stuff out.